Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus had come into the temple area, the chief priests and the elders of the people approached him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" Jesus said to them in reply, "I shall ask you one question. And if you answer it for me, then I shall tell you by what authority I do these things. Where was John's baptism from? Was it of heavenly or of human origin?" They discussed this among themselves and said, "If we say, 'of heavenly origin,' he will say to us, 'Then why did you not believe him?' But if we say, 'of human origin,' we fear the crowd, for they all regard John as a prophet." So they said to Jesus in reply, "We do not know." He himself said to them, "Neither shall I tell you by what authority I do these things." The Gospel of the Lord.
The character in the first reading today from the book of Numbers. It might be interesting for you to back up 2 chapters and find out the context of all this, but I'll give you a small piece. This guy Balaam, a king has asked him to go and curse the people of Israel. They have come up from Egypt, they've taken over the land, and this king is in fear of being wiped out. And so he asks Balaam to go curse the Israelites. On his way, Balaam hears a word from the Lord, and he says, "Oh no, I don't want you to go curse them. I want you to bless them because I like those people." And so he does an entrance into his conscience to figure out what is right here and what is wrong. What do I really need to look at as the truth? So he became courageous to do the right thing because God was talking to him, and he didn't want to mess with God. He would rather say yes to the Lord than say yes to someone who was threatening him. He had to make a decision, and he did. And the oracle you hear is not just a prophecy that favors the Israelites, but it is considered by the early church the entrance and a prophecy of the Messiah coming. Did you notice the word star came out? A star came up there. And so you see the ancient entrance, or the ancient whisper, you could say, that Jesus is coming. And so we come to Jesus in the gospel. He is also in a similar fix. He's leading the Pharisees and the scribes into figuring out what their conscience believes about what is the right thing to do. He has cleared the temple in a few verses earlier, and he's cursed a fig tree. And the people, the scribes and the Pharisees are a little bit upset with him. And then so they say, "What authority do you have to do these things?" Wow. Jesus never tells them anything. He gives them an opportunity to delve into their conscience and see what is right and what is wrong here. What do I need to do? This applies to all of us. We come to these situations often in life. It looks like the right thing to do, but when we really start to pray and examine our conscience, we figure it out. Sometimes we're too frightened to figure it out and we do the wrong thing. Other times, we look inside the soul and we look to Christ and we ask ourselves, what is the courageous thing to do here? What must I do? And this is what Jesus did. He stood courageously, didn't tip his hand for anything, but he just stood up to them with his in human courage, of course, fortified by his divinity. And so, as we're preparing for Christmas, it would be good to begin an examination of our own consciences to see where we need to probe and perhaps come to the sacrament of reconciliation in this next week so that we can stand righteous before God and be like Balaam, who said yes, similar to the way that the Blessed Mother said yes.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui aquae meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia, ora pro nobis Deum, alleluia.